BismillahirRahmanirRahim. How does one become a candidate to receive the Shafaat of the Holy Ones and those who are serving the Holy Ones?
In front of the Masjid al-Nabawi, Rawza Sharif, they still have that calligraphy that the Ottomans that they put. The hadith is from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, of course, and anyone knows what that hadith is? Yes?
It's not. I think it's the one that says, my Shafaat is for the people who have committed major sins in my life.
Yes. That is saying, my Shafaat is for those who have committed the major sins from my ummah. Bismillah. No one understands this better than the Ottomans, believe me. No one. You may have certain groups, certain associations, certain people, the earlier dynasties even, but the Ottomans took this and the love of the Prophet ﷺ and made it part of their state character. You know how difficult it is? Because once you fall into the system, shaitan just very easily can take over. But they made this into part of their character of the state, character of the dawlat. The love of the Prophet ﷺ and the love of the awliya Allah, meaning tariqat. And with that, they sent this love to the whole empire, east and west, north and south. That majority of the Muslims today, that they became Muslims in other parts of the land that is not Arab, is because of the Ottomans. Earlier ones have been sent, of course. But in terms of it being really powerful, it came about during that time. Because the Ottomans were very serious about this. They were not just, by the way, sent, our businessmen are also mubalighs. No, they made it into part of their state craft. So the love of the Prophet ﷺ and the service for him, for his ummah, the service for his ummah. It is not a family. It is not a dynasty, but a family. They say everyone is Ottoman. You didn't get this. They didn't call themselves everyone is Abbasi, for example. Or everyone is Umawi. Definitely not everyone is Umawi. You understand? But they made it, the British took from that to give people a sense of identity. You are also Osman. And this is what is going to come up again and to bind everyone together. Because this is not about family. This is not even about blood. This is about your love of the Prophet ﷺ, and this is the sunnat of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Different backgrounds, different status, different languages. They were coming from different belief systems, but all loving the Prophet ﷺ and serving the ummah. And that service and love of the Prophet ﷺ, they've also engraved it on the walls of the Rawza Sharif. What did they engrave? Burda Sharif, Dil Hayrat. The Shaykh Efendi used to give so many sohbats about that. They engraved it in the walls, that in order to remove that, they have to take all the walls down now. Because they know there will come a time when they will oppose to this love of the Prophet and they will try to remove the love of the Prophet and the physical proof of the love of the Prophet ﷺ down, so that the Muslims become headless, heedless, heartless. Because the Prophet is representing the heart ﷺ. That was put there by them. There are so many other hadith sharif that they could have put. So many hadith sharif that they could have put to not only point to the Prophet ﷺ, but to point to themselves. Because all these big places that states or empires or governments that they're putting, whether it is government or hospital or schools or masjids or places of worship, it is also pointing to their greatness. Yes? The greatness of the empire, the greatness of the nation, the greatness of the state. But that calligraphy is not pointing to the greatness of the Ottomans. They could have. There are hadiths also about the greatness of empires, but they did not. And if anything, it shows that their relationship with the Prophet ﷺ is like the relationship, not as we are the custodians of the religion, we are the keepers of the sunnat. No. We are the slaves. Not of Allah. They go one step down. They say we are slaves of the Prophet ﷺ. And that's one of the reasons why they wore the peacock feather in their turbans, to signify that they are slaves, because these beautiful, precious feathers were used as brooms in the tombs of the prophets and the saints. And to signify their servanthood, they did that. And I believe it was Sultan Selim, as a proof of his servanthood to the Prophet ﷺ, they pierced his ear. It is according to some riwayat, because people at that time who do it are only those ones who are slaves. It's a sign. They were not afraid of that. They say it is a great honor. So it is showing now that we did, and nobody can not talk about the greatness of the Ottomans. The greatest empire that there ever was, especially in the service of Allah and Islam. Yet, above the doorway of the greatest prophet, of the greatest one, as the poet of the subcontinent says, after Allah, you are the greatest, which is about the Prophet ﷺ. That they could have chosen something to also kind of reflect on them, kind of saying, like us, it's also a reflection on us, but no. They said, they picked that calligraphy that talks about intercession, not about rewards for good things that they have done, not about the greatness and the righteousness or the correct way that the Ottomans are, but they talk about the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ, whom he said are for those from his nation who have committed great sins. Now, do you think they are cancelling themselves out from that hadith, the meaning of that hadith? No, meaning that they believe, they say, we are the ones who are in need of your intercession. The Prophet says, ﷺ, my intercession is for those of my ummah to commit grave sins, the great sins. Today, Muslims are going to say, I don't make any great sins. Yeah, a little bit here and there, but no, I don't make. They don't believe it. But in the past, because of this love of the Prophet ﷺ and the value of the awliya Allah and understanding spirituality and tasawwuf, they say any moments forgetfulness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a moment of forgetfulness and weakness, that is a grave sin in their eyes. In much the same way as Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, his zakat is different. The zakat of Imam Ja'far Sadiq is different. The zakat of the Muslims are different. And when they question the Imam, trying to think that he is making something up, and they ask him a question about zakat, and he says, this is what the zakat is according to Sharia. And they ask him, what about your zakat? And he says, you cannot carry my zakat, because my zakat is the zakat of my grandfather, the Prophet, the Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, radiallahu anh. And what is his zakat? 1/40th? His zakat is what? Everything. Dunya and akhirat, he gives his zakat. So this is understanding the depth and the spirituality of things. If you consider yourself as a person who commits grave sins, then you are in need and you're deserving of His intercession. If you look at your sins and you're like, so what? It doesn't matter. Or worse, now people are becoming very complex. They say, oh, I'm the worst. Yeah, I'm the worst. But you don't really believe it. Yeah, I commit grave sins. Yeah, I'm the weakest. But if somebody's trying to correct you, or the Sheikh is trying to give you tarbiyah, then you wake up like a dragon. Say, how dare you? I didn't do that. That's not. They start arguing. It's finished now. That time when they start arguing, it's already finished. But if you believe that sincerely, and you become more patient, you take a step back, you start controlling, you look at things properly. Whether the truth is coming to you from someone who is good or someone who is bad, doesn't matter, truth is truth. You try to take it and you don't just reject it, and you understand that you've committed things that are great and you're in need of intercession, you will ask, then we are deserving of it. Are we deserving just like that? No. We don't deserve anything. We don't. Deserve means you have done something that you can get it. What have we done to deserve anything? What have we done to deserve this existence? What have we done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or what can we do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? As our Shaykh has said, that He gave us just one eye. One eye, not two. Now the one who is in tasawwuf is going to understand this more. It's not just about having good manners. It's not just about being nice and soft speaking and not curse. No, it's not about that. In fact, it's showing in the way of tasawwuf that there's so many different kinds, so many different manifestations of that servanthood. Some servants, they have to be like that. Some servants, they have to be like this. Some saints, they are Halim and Salim, and some saints, they are very Jalal. As the Sahaba Kiram, they are all of different shades. But now, it fits. They say, make the people who believe in Tasawwuf, make them to just be like Jesus. Easy. Just be so nice, so humble. Let people just walk all over them. Let them be not thinking, but just play acting, being humble. But you see, you scratch them a little, oh, how proud they are. To act humble is the easiest thing that a munafiq can do. Anyone can do. And people love that. Our Shaykh is natural. He doesn't need to act. He doesn't need to act humble. He doesn't need to act majestic. In his humility, I've seen him. There is so much majesty. And in his jalalness, in his majesty, there is humility in it. How idiots are going to understand this? Ottomans understand this because as a sultan is going on the parade, declaring the majesty of the sultanate, there is someone who is also shouting to him, "Oh Sultan, don't think that you are higher than Allah." You understand? Have someone to say that in front of our president today. Not president, have someone to say it to your face today. No one has. And if someone tells you, you're a donkey, then you start growling like a lion. How dare you say I'm a donkey? You're not understanding what it is. So if we understand, it's easy. And we ask for the intercession, understanding that we are weak, however much that we're running, and we must run. That it is not for us to put stars to our own efforts. It's up to them. And our reason for running is not to get the stars, but it makes them happy. So it's chasing after their happiness, their pleasure. As the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is saying, My maqsood, my purpose is to make you happy, Ya Rabbi. And slowly we're learning this, how to make the Prophet ﷺ happy, how to make the Mashaykh happy. You think Prophet ﷺ is happy if you bring him cakes and sing songs while the ummah is suffering? You think he's happy like that? That time is kind of insulting. You are not saying anything about tyranny, you're not helping them, you're not doing anything, but you're singing songs saying that I love you. How patient they are. I know you're not going to be happy if something like that were to happen to you. So yes, we must praise the Prophet ﷺ, but there is nothing that we're doing here that really makes them happy. We must first understand that. Isn't that a grave enough sin? We're not imagining this. We're not trying to make something deep and profound. No, isn't that grave enough sins that our hands are tied, that we cannot stop the zulm that is happening? Then it is enough for us every day to beg for the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ. If not, nothing can be saved. The prophets were asking for will be asking for the intercession on the Day of Judgment. But majority of the Muslims today, they're burning already. They're in trouble. And the Prophet is not going to say, yes, come to me. He's going to say, why are you not coming to the one I sent to you? Who you think you are? Don't say that about the Prophet. Astaghfirullah. You think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to receive anyone who rejects his beloved? And you think his beloved is going to do against what Allah or the same? Something to think about. May we learn this, inshallah, step by step. Don't take credit for the things that you've done. Be happy, you must do more, as a khutbah is saying. Just don't take it for serious, good things that you've done. Take seriously things that we're weak about. This is not about, tariqat is not about a feeling. It's not about how much you cry, how much you beat yourself up to show that you are really sincere. It's not about that. Look at the Sahabi-Kiram. It's about serving the ummah. It's about sacrifice. As we are nearing to the days of sacrifice, the days of Qurban. I wonder how many in the Holy Lands are understanding Qurban. Or how many are only chasing after their own Jannat and their own dunya in the Holy Lands. Something to think about. May Allah save us from the fitna and the fire of this Akhir Zaman from entering into our hearts. May Allah raise the station of our Shaykh. May He always support us, inshallah. Al-Fatiha.